Move on then. Also at 3:15 that Saturday we have Ulster v Quins from the Kingspan, the Ravenhill Kingspan Stadium, and that's a really good fixture, because I actually think these sides are two young sides that have been growing a lot in the last couple of years that match up really, really well. They both play a lovely kind of brand of rugby, rugby. And even they're stylistically quite similar. You're looking at wee Marcus Smith on one side, and then what's his name, Billy Burns on the other. Both of them fond of a good passing game, can drop it on the toe, like to move from left to right and kind of use the full width of the pitch. So I expect quite an expansive effort here. We have, just in terms of colour, Ulster absolutely flying high, 7 from 9 in their season.
Incredible.
Top of their pool on 8 points. Pretty excited to be here at home, welcoming an English side that they'll fancy having a go at. For sure, Quins are still in the mix. They have 4 points, I believe, to Ulster's 8.
They got that gutsy 15-9 win that they so needed to get in the stoop against Bath. It was a tight one. Joe Marler actually coming up with a play on Francois Lowe, holding them in a breakdown, milking a penalty. They were niggly enough and game enough for that fight. Which was important actually. I think they do have a nice hard edge to them, the Quins. They are, that being said, up against it after that opening round where we saw Clermont in full flow, and shipping 50 is never good for the confidence of a team going into a European clash. But they'll be aware that Ulster are not Clermont, and that stylistically they match up well, but actually calibre wise this is a blow for blow kind of thing. And one area I do think they have an edge is that Joe Marler that you're saying should be having a go at Marty Moore at scrum time for sure. They'll kill him at scrum time.
I think so.
From Ulster's point of view, in terms of what they want to do with the ball, they have been bringing a really exciting offense to their season so far. They've been bringing great pace. Both of their halfbacks are very exciting. Cooney has actually been really emphasising the speed of play, which is great. Really nice to see.
Even the runners off 9 are super wide out from him. His passing is actually quite wide, even when they're playing off 9.
Wide and quite crisp, absolutely. They have a lovely balance to their centres, no matter whether they go with Marshall or Matt Fettis. Both are very, very have a nice balance to them, where McCluskey is more of your
hard yards type.
I was going to say wannabe Sullyville.
He needs to stop wanting to, because he loses the ball when he holds it so loosely. To be fair, he's not Sullyville.
He's totally a wannabe
Stuart.
How much does he want to be Sullyville? But anyway, that is. But it actually does work. He can smash through the middle of the sides. But the Ulster's secret weapon, both on offense and on defense, has been the back row has really improved, and the carry game of Jordy Murphy and Marcel Coetzee
doing
breaks teams up, and then you move the ball once you've got over the gain line. Once you've got a bit of momentum, you've cleared the ruck. Things are quick. Cooney's driving a high pace, and you can go strike, and then they do move it wide. They move it wide with enough of subtlety where you have a McCluskey short option or a Fettis or Marshall short option.
Addison's actually been playing pretty well off kick return and off kind of wide distribution role. He understands the game ball in hand. He kind of runs. He's a very quintessential Ulster man now. It's the way that Ulster like to play is use the full width of the pitch, move big boys around, and try and attack with ambition and verve. And no doubt this will be no different. It depends on conditions. Hopefully it'll be a crisp, cool, kind of still night in Ravenhill, but if the rain comes down, this will all change and it'll become a bit more of a dogfight. But both sides, as far as ambition goes, will be trying to move the other around for sure. And shift that point of contact and trust their halfbacks. Like Marcus Smith has been excellent and has been growing a lot for Quins, and he'll be trying to make mugs out of Ulster, which on defence they can be suspect.
And listen, Ulster, obviously they have danger all over. They do like to move it wide. They do also like they have a Jacob Stockdale if they can put him into
how do you resource him? It could be kick pass from Billy Burns, it can be Addison kick return onto down to his right
they mix
wing.
up their kicking game very nicely, but they will have to mix up their game because Quins have a bit of balls to them this time around, and they have a bit of balls to their defence.
I think I rate their pack, their tight 5 of their pack, more than I rate Ulster's tight 5.
And last week in the Premiership they got that win against Gloucester, and Gloucester were just relentless. They would never ever kick the ball. They were just, and they wouldn't even go narrow. They were just going wide and wide and wide again, and they just wouldn't stop. They were moving it from side of the pitch to side of the pitch, and Quins consistently got a read on them, got up into their faces. Now Gloucester at times made it easy for them,
They
but
did.
they got into their faces.
Should have kicked the ball a few times.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, that won't happen. Like, Billy Burns does like dropping on the toe, and Cooney box kicks.
There's no question that Ulster do like to go wide early,
Yes.
and Quins aren't giving up that space.
Yeah.
So actually, the onus is on the likes of McCluskey, the likes of Coetzee, the likes of Jordy Murphy to break up the Quins defence, and to Ian Henderson to get on top of the contacts, to start winning that contact game, and breaking it up, and that is where the game is made or break.
Because to have had Sam Carter available for it.
100%. Yeah.
But they don't, and whatever. But yeah, you're dead right that they will have to earn that right, which is something that Gloucester didn't last week at all, to go wide. It's an old adage for a reason. Like if that space, if players are just blanking out there, you're just isolating your own men. So they will try and endeavour not to. So then the kicking battle will become interesting as well in terms of who's finding the right areas to be playing in on the pitch. In terms of defence, then it'll be a matter of discipline for both sides. But when Ulster are defending this Quins outfit, they will be expecting a little bit of the same, like a bit of moving around. So it's where your position, your big turnover men, Marcel, Geordie, even being Ian Henderson in a ruck can get stuck in there.
Ulster's
Herring as well actually has a bit of a poach game.
Has been out of this world.
So
absolutely stopping the contact, targeting the likes of Dom Brand, who gives Quinn so much go forward, and stopping that guy and smashing him backwards is a great picture. And then all of a sudden, if you can, you have to put somebody on Marcus Smith. I mean, he's talented, but he's just too young at 10. I'm not sure if it's Jordy Murphy.
Would it be Geordie, or would you allocate that to, is it Reedy or Timoney?
But those guys are just so likely to lose that battle. I think it's Jordy Murphy. You have to send down the throat of Marcus Smith, breakdown after breakdown after breakdown after breakdown after breakdown, or Treadwell or something like that. Just getting some big unit in Marcus's face, and the way that you can facilitate that is not by losing those contacts. The narrow contacts are vital, as always, as they often are. But smashing the likes of Dombrand back is huge from an Ulster point of view. Not letting Campagnaro and the boys getting any kind of space. There is a bit of a challenge there, and there is a bit of concern in the midfield defence, if I'm honest. I think it's whether they go for Marshall or Fedas in a 13 with McCluskey, there's a softness there. And Campagnaro is actually a very, very tidy player.
With ball in hand for sure, he's dangerous. So, but it'll be if they can bring that pressure, then Kerr as well. We know if they're going backwards, Kerr's box kicking game is probably what kept him out of the England squad. To be honest, he's a shocking kicker of a ball. And so it'll all fall on Marcus then, and if you can marry those two, bring the pressure, bring the line speed, and force the kick, that's the picture they definitely want to be painting. Because outside of that, Quins will access the wide channels. The true Campagnaro, they have a distributor in 13 they can attack.
You do not want, from Ulster's point of view, you do not want that lad Itoya in any kind of space. Jeez, that try he scored against Clermont.
Yeah, it was unreal. It was a touch of the Larmour from last season going. It's the hot stepping, changing direction, ankle breakers as they called them in basketball, where you just stood still and falling over as he goes. And so he's danger. They need to swallow his space. Swallow his space. Don't allow it to be quick. Don't allow it to arrive at him with any time to make that kind of stuff happen. And also don't kick loosely to him. Because that's another recipe for disaster.
But at set piece time, Ulster are going to be looking to get their maul going
for sure. Henderson's a good operator in that area. They do have a good setup, to be honest. It's one area that they've vastly improved under McFarland. Is their set piece and their pack in general of set pieces is night and day compared to under Les Kiss. They were rudderless.
He's the best coach they've had in forever.
That's true. That's very true.
But he's obviously
set higher standards is what he's done
and
across the board.
And after games, he's finding flaws as well, and being no, we need to be better. Whereas in the past, Ulster have had starts to the season like this, and they've been on cloud 9, going soft 'em, we're going to win the Heineken Cup, and it's all been shite talk and never worked out for them. It seems more likely to work out for them in some capacity this year. This is a huge test for them. One of the areas though that Quins are going to be looking at Ulster and going, I don't know if you're quite there yet. Scrum time. And Marty Moore has never ever in his life been at the level to compete with a guy like Joe Marler.
Not at all.
And I cannot picture anything other than every scrum being a Quins penalty. I think the matchup is that bad.
Especially given like Jack McGrath has been poor for the last few seasons. but he's better than what's in behind him, and he's not available for selection. So there's not help coming from that side.
No.
You've no Sam Carter coming from the engine room.
Yeah,
It's all
I
just
think Ian
Marty.
Henderson will be tight head locking.
Ian Henderson will be behind him for support, but Joe Marler can do damage. He did damage against the Springbok scrum. Like the Ulster scrum ain't nothing like the Springbok scrum, and Marty Moore is nowhere near that calibre. God. So that'll put an onus on Ulster to keep the ball handling to a very high standard. If the game becomes about that, then Quins get the edge, despite being away from home.
Oh, totally.
Like
because they move the ball.
Penalties.
Scrum penalties are everything, and then all of a sudden, like a knock on becomes just an absolute killer mistake. Killer mistake, and they happen.
That's one of the main differences between these two sides that are otherwise I think on paper are pretty well balanced. Is that scrum supremacy that I do think is in the favour of the Englishman here. But then other than that, from the Englishman's perspective, I suppose they they'll be looking to try and stop the Ulster maul at line out, talking set piece again. If they can stymie that set piece while getting that scrum going themselves, that's a big recipe for it, because it'll be a spoiling performance away from home in Europe. They need to set the template early. They need to stop whatever Ulster are trying to do, and then exert some of their own pressure as well, and try and play with a bit of that verve and freedom. Try and get the ball multiple touches for Kerr and their halfbacks, but if they can play the likes of Campagnaro onto the ball a few times in a matter of phases, that's the kind of rhythm they like to play with. And
Toya has the ball and there's nobody watching.
Exactly.
And then, there's 7 points.
Exactly.
Right? And they score pretty tries as well, Quins.
They do. They definitely do. They have, you were right to flag them, Dombrandt, but even like Simmons as well. They carry really well in the tight. They actually do. They stand up. And so they'll be looking to create some of that go forward, and then move the point of contact. Try and avoid contacts that are near or around Marcel Coetzee. And try and
Lang is in decent form as well, and Campagnaro in there is always dangerous. But they should even though those guys wouldn't be necessarily their key strengths, Marcus Smith should be looking to unpick Ulster at centre time and just really test how, because especially when they've been chopping and changing at 13 so much, you've Addisons and you've had Marshalls and you've Fettas and all of these guys, but with McCluskey seemingly, but like the telepathy may not necessarily be there yet, and it's early days. And I've also just seen, like, every one of those guys I've mentioned be soft in tackles. Just all of them. So I mean, like, that has to be an area they attack. That has to be where they look to unpick Ulster, is just like a perfectly reasonable formation. And then all of a sudden it's like there's a bit of deception, and we hit the short ball off the screen, and it's Dombrandt running the short line and McCluskey tasked with tackling him. And then all of a sudden you could see McCluskey very not tackle him, and away he goes. And that's got to be something that they've got to probe at, and that's got to be somewhere that they see themselves as having an advantage in.
For sure. So I think those are big performers you've highlighted as well. They need to be physical in the contact on both sides of the ball. When they're defending, they need to try and, like, because as they're both very similar sides, that problem you cited with McCluskey equally applicable to Campagnaro.
But I have noticed improvement in Campagnaro this year, and I've actually his tackling. I've been sort of enjoying. Like, it looks like he's actively worked on his D. And
it's his one-up tackling, same as that entire Italian team. It's just first-up tackles, nothing to do with defensive reading or anything.
He made a few against Gloucester last week. Gloucester weren't making it that difficult, as we've said already. But he did make a few against them. He made some solid reads from 13. That's the kind of thing he needs to be bringing again.
It'd be a good telltale sign in those contact areas on which side of the ball, how up for this are Quins, because away from home we know that, like,
I was very impressed by them getting, I know it was at home, but them getting the better of Gloucester. And Ulster have a lightning quick offense
similar to
So, but they don't have Cipriani.
No, they don't.
They don't have, like, a guy in the form of the likes of Thorley, and like Gloucester have a very, very fine team. Guys like Atkinson as well.
Sure. But they do have, they'll have an approach that was slightly less chaotic as what that Gloucester team were bringing on that particular day. So I'm interested in how do you see this going?
Well, this is what I was getting at. Like, it's actually really tough. And I would say of both sides are flirting with being taken seriously as a European contender. And for either side, this is a game they should win if they want to be serious. And I think the winner of this side will emerge as the winner of this game will emerge as maybe serious, and the loser of this game, like, will have been flattering to deceive no matter what, because both of these sides are beatable, and the step up is to beat either of these sides. So it's tough to call, but the way just piecing it out there in my head as my instinct tells me that Quins are just a better rugby team, and they're just going to have the edge in one too many areas, and they're going to catch us. Now this is a bold statement because Ulster have been so good this year, especially at home. They've been winning all of their games. I don't know if they've played that many great teams. Like they got that win against Clermont, but that was a bad game. It was a really bad game. The standard was shocking.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think Quins to step up and win it.
There you go. Good call. Big call.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no, Ulster to step up and win it, but win it in a 4-1 margin, like within losing bonus, and then we move on to the Stoop next week. And that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But a good contest, definitely. That's definitely a really good matchup.
Yeah.
And we move on then.
Thank you so much for watching that video. If you want to catch the rest of our Overlap Rugby podcast World Cup content, please subscribe down below and comment as well. We love to hear the chat in the comments, and ring that bell so you get notified for all our new videos. Thanks.